All right. That takes us to a very important topic today. At the end of the day, one of the big areas in cybersecurity is an area called asset management. Asset management. And I know what you're thinking at times is okay, wait a minute. Why do we care, or why should I care about asset management? What is the angle to care about asset management in general? In simple terms, think about it. Earlier on we talked about the different types of assets, right? So, think about it. What are the assets we are thinking about if we are talking of IT assets in general? So sometimes we're talking about your hardware, your software, your data, right? Those could be your key critical asset within your organization. Now, with that comes some very foundational responsibilities. So let's start real quick. I'll jump into asset management. Then we can quickly just do a quick touch point on it real quick, do some real life program on it. So what is asset in general terms? All of us have assets, your laptop, your desktop, your hardwares, your data. Those are typically your assets. If you don't mind, can you just type that real quick for me? Let me allow you to type real quick. If I ask you what are your assets, can you type? What did you say to me? What are your major assets in your organization, in your house? Go ahead and type real quick. What are your assets? Let's go. Your computers. I want us to generalize and say your hardware, your softwares, and your data. Can we make it that real quick? I agree with you. Your laptop is true, your computer is true, but they are under the hardware, right? But let's keep it at hardware, softwares, and your data for now, okay? Firmware is true, yes, yeah. Hardware, software, and data. Let's keep it at that. Okay. So if I ask you what are the assets we're thinking about, the same thing goes for organization today. Believe it or not, I'm telling you the biggest of organization in the world. And it's the same thing, nothing different. Nothing different. It's the same thing. And I'm talking about your Fortune 100, Fortune 500. All of them is the same thing. You have hardware, softwares, and data. So they classify them, of course, but that's the typical thing in general. Okay. Let's go to the next thing. What are some of the best practices in terms of managing those assets? Let me ask you all. Gone are the days we are talking about threat of theft with some complex, huge devices, right? This is an era you have a tiny flash drive that has the capacity for 10 terabytes. It can download every information of all of us in a push of a button. So, and that's enough to destroy any organization, really. So now it means we need to figure a way in which these assets are protected. Yes, we agree, hardware, software, data, fine. Is it enough? All of us in your house today, I can assure you, you have some assets you are not aware of. Do you know that? If you have time, go check your network connection. You'll be surprised some of your devices that are old that you kept in your attic, it's still connected to your internet somewhere. So you'll be wondering, wait a minute, my internet shows I have 20 devices connected. Where are these devices? Hello, you kept them away somewhere and it's showing connection. Some of them are your printers that are old in your kid's room. It's still connected to the internet. So some of them are old phones that you've forgotten about, still connected to the internet. So these are the trends that are out there right now. Okay. So what are the best practices? Number one, for each of those assets we have, right, in terms of the hardware, the softwares, and the data, how do we identify the data and classify the assets? Can we all type that word together? Classifying an asset. If you don't mind, let's go real quick, everybody. Classify the assets. Real quick, let's go. And it's a no-brainer. What I'm saying is that okay, if I come to your house and I ask you, okay, what are the assets you have? You tell me, well, I have printers, laptop, desktop. Okay, I can say those are your hardwares, right? If I ask you, what about what software do you have? You tell me, well, I have Windows, Team, Oracle, whatever software you have. I know those are software assets, right? I'm asking what kind of data do you keep in your database? You're telling me customers' information, my personal information, financial information, credit card information, all of those. We classify them also, how sensitive they are. It allows us to have a strong level of protection at different levels. For those of us that have worked in the government space, you'll notice certain data are classified based on the importance and criticality of those data, right? Sometimes you might see them call it top secret, secret. So it depends on how confidential the information is, it's classified in that accord also. Another thing that is big, everybody, let's pause for a second. Inventory management. What does this mean? You will see a pattern as we progress in this program. A few things will be repeating because they're just the same thing, really. What does this mean? It means we need to have an inventory of our assets. Can we all type in asset inventory real quick, everybody, if you don't mind? And I'll tell you why it's so important. Imagine, God forbid, a burglar comes to your house today, and you call in the cops, right? And they come in, the police come in, and let me ask you. Let me see. Okay, if God forbid a burglar comes to your house, some few things are missing. What's the cop gonna ask first? What's the police gonna ask you? Let's say some of you in law enforcement. What's the police gonna ask you? List of what is missing. What was taken? I love it. You guys are love it. So think about it for a second. Imagine rightfully a police comes in and say, "Sorry, ma'am. Sorry, sir, for your loss. Can you give me a list of what was stolen?" Imagine you telling the police, I don't know, but I think they've stolen a lot. What will the police think? Somebody say how much it costs to lay a charge. Yeah, so if you just go meet the person, you're telling the police that, well, I don't know, I think it's a lot, but I don't know what was stolen. Then in their mind, they're just thinking, hey, you're not serious. Nothing can be done. Really, that's what they will say because really, you've said nothing. That's why it's so critical to have inventory of your assets. And I'm telling you one funny thing, believe it or not, the biggest of the biggest organization in the world sometimes struggle with this. And you can understand why. For your home, if you have time later today, do this, you'll be surprised. Check your network, check how many devices connected, your TV, your bell, your ring, your fridge now, your wearable devices, Jawbone, Fitbit, kids, Samsung, your phones, laptop, desktop, TV, AC, what do you call that one? Every one of your major devices is, you'll be shocked how many devices you have connected to that, your house right now. Check it, you'll be surprised. I did that once some few months ago and I was shocked that, wait a minute, seriously? Where are all these devices, right? You'll be surprised how many devices are connected to your network right now. So imagine an organization that has 3,000 workers, 5,000 workers, sometimes 20,000 plus. So imagine how many devices they are dealing with. Some of them would have field workers that are in the field using their desktop, their mobile phone, their walkie-talkies. Some of them will have plants that are using 5G, connecting and interacting with each other. Some of them would have a lot of people working remotely from different locations. Some of them will have people on site. Some of them would have international, you know, workers too. So think for a second how much crazy this can be in terms of all of these devices scattered all over the world. It's crazy, right? If yours is crazy, think of a company that has 3,000 plus employee. How crazy it will be. So it's a big struggle. I'll be honest. A lot of people struggle with it. You know. Okay, I like this. Somebody said even your insurer would ask you what was stolen. That's true, Larry, because that's so true. If you if you have rental insurance, home insurance, and there's a theft, they would ask you also what was stolen. Imagine you don't have an inventory, you don't have a clue, then you even lose credibility. They can't even cover you. So it's a big deal, right? But let's go to the next one real quick.